In 1922, on a remote farm in Germany, an entire family was brutally murdered. The case was never solved. No suspect was ever charged, and to this day, it is considered as one of the most disturbing unsolved crimes in history. Hinterkaifeck was not a village. It was not even a town. It was a single isolated farm surrounded by forest and fields. The nearest neighbor lived hundreds of meters away. At night, the area was completely dark. No street lights, no passing cars, just silence. The farmhouse stood alone, as if cut off from the rest of the world. And in 1922, 6 people lived there. The head of the household was Andreas Gruber. He was strict, controlling, and feared by many. His wife was Cecilia Gruber, quiet, religious, and deeply isolated. Their adult daughter, Victoria Gabriel, lived with them after losing her husband in World War I. Victoria had 2 children, her daughter Cecilia, only 7 years old, and her baby son Joseph, just 2. Days before the murders, a new maid arrived. Her name was Maria Baumgartner. She had been on the farm for less than a day before everything ended. 6 people, 1 farm, no escape. Something was wrong at Hinterkaifeck long before the killings. Andreas Gruber told neighbors that footsteps appeared in the snow leading from the forest to the farm, but no footprints led back. He heard sounds in the attic at night, slow footsteps, scratching, movement. But when he searched, he found nothing. A set of house keys went missing. They were never found. Despite all these, Andreas refused help. He did not call the police. He did not leave the farm. Whatever was happening, he chose to stay. On the evening of March 31, 1922, someone entered the farm. Not by force, not by breaking a door. They were likely already inside. One by one, members of the family were lured into the barn. There were no gunshots, no scream heard by neighbors. The weapon was a mattock, a heavy farming tool. Each victim was struck repeatedly. Andreas Gruber was killed first, then his wife, then Victoria. Little Cecilia survived the first blows. Evidence showed she suffered for hours. After that, the killer went inside the house. The maid Maria was killed in her bed. And finally, Joseph, the 2-year-old child, was murdered in his crib. The entire family was gone. Days went by. The family did not attend church. Mail piled up, but the animals were still being fed. Smoke was still seen coming from the chimney. This suggests that someone was still there. On April 4, 1922, concerned neighbors finally went to investigate. Inside the barn, they found the bodies, 6 people hidden under hay. But the scene was strange. It was too calm and organized. Police arrived shortly after, but the crime scene was already ruined. People walked freely through the house, bodies removed, and evidence was destroyed. The truth began slipping away. Investigators soon realized something shocking. The killer did not leave immediately. Animals were fed, food was eaten, and the fire stayed lit. Evidence suggested the killer may have lived on the farm for several days after the murders, sleeping there, walking around, and living with the dead. Despite a full investigation, the case was never solved. Over the years, several theories emerged, each attempting to explain who committed the crime and why. One theory focused on a neighbor, Lawrence Spleetenborough. He had a personal connection to Victoria, and some believed he was the father of Joseph. When the bodies were discovered, his behavior raised suspicion. He entered the house calmly and touched the bodies without fear. However, No direct evidence ever linked him to the murders. Another theory suggests the killer knew the farm well. They knew where tools were kept. They knew the family's routine, and they moved with confidence. This points to someone who had worked or lived there before. But again, no proof was found. The most disturbing theory suggests the killer was a stranger, someone hiding in the attic. This would explain the footsteps, the missing keys, and the sense of being watched. If true, then the family was never alone. In the end, 6 lives were lost, evidence was mishandled, time erased witnesses, and a killer disappeared. And one isolated farm became one of the darkest mysteries in history. This is the Hinterkaifeck murders. If you liked this video, consider subscribing to Silent Case True Crime, and we'll see you in the next case.